Well, good afternoon, everybody. I am Dr. Elizabeth Kreiselmaier, and I'm running in 2020 against Derek Kilmer for the 6th Congressional District. Yay! Thank you. I am a mom on a mission to clean up the House of Representatives, because as we know, it's been rife with dirty tricks and foul play and stinkin' thinking these past 3.5 years. I got on board to run. I was actually asked to run because I was one of those people that, probably like many of you, I would see all the impeachment dealings and shenanigans and tricks and just want to throw my shoes at the TV every night. I got tired of that, so I'm, getting into this race on the urging of my honorary campaign manager right here, who asked me to run, Marlon Jensen. Many of you know Marlon. Marlon is someone you don't say no to, so so here we are. And I'm very appreciative of her being here to support us. And Sharon Russell is my campaign manager. So I'm just going to point these two wonderful ladies out because I will have to take off early. And they will be here at the table with my things, and you can speak with them about maybe getting involved with the campaign. But a little bit right now about what am I doing, why am I doing this audacious thing, and why me, why now, why? Well, I'm running really for 3 reasons. I love this country, and as all of you do as well, and I'm very much pro-Trump and proud of it. Yay, Trump. And 2020 is just so critical. There's so much at stake. We can just sense it, right? There's just a lot riding on this election because we are at a precipice, really, as a nation of people, forces and people and politicians like Derek Kilmer who are operating in lockstep with Nancy Pelosi and the House Democrats and all the other blue state governors like Inslee that really would be more than happy to have us walk over the cliff into socialism, and we must put a stop to that. So I'm running because I love the country. 2020 is critical. I love the country and all its freedoms, and freedom is fragile. We have to fight for it. So I'm standing up to do this thing, to take this fight to Derek Kilmer, because Derek Kilmer, how many of you have had any contact with him or know much about him? Anybody? So what do you tend to hear about him, mostly? He's moderate. He's nice, right? He's articulate, he's glib, he's funny. I've heard him and he's all those things, except moderate. So one of the things that Derek Kilmer does, and does very well, unfortunately, is present himself as a moderate when he's here in this Washington. And he talks about being pro-business and pro-military and all these wonderful things, and a family man. And, I'm sure he is a very nice man to talk to and a nice, nice family. However, when he's in that Washington, D.C., he votes as a radical. He votes in lockstep with Nancy Pelosi 100% of the time this session, 98% of the time with Adam Schiff, architect of the impeachment, and Maxine Waters. He also votes 95% of the time with AOC, Green New Deal, and Ilhan Omar and the rest of the squad. So one of the things that I bring to the table in this race is I do have a 20-year background I have a Ph.D. From a long time ago, University of Oregon, summa cum laude, and I had a 20-year career in program evaluation and research, and really sizing up programs and seeing what works, what doesn't, making recommendations, consulting and presenting all over the country in my previous world. And so I can research things thoroughly, amass information, try to see what's going on, size things up, and come up with productive, effective, efficient solutions. So in doing this race, I'm really focused on looking at Derek Kilmer's voting record and bringing it to light and exposing it for what it is. Because when you find out that this supposed moderate actually voted against something like, for example, the Infant Born Alive Protection Act. So he's a darling of Planned Parenthood, but he's and he's pro-abortion early, middle, and late term, but also post-term, as in infanticide. So that's one of his egregious votes. He's voted against any kind of border security, so he's not for protecting the security and safety of our citizens. So he voted against an act that would have allowed for the deportation of criminal alien gang members, like MS-13. MS-13, you have to have killed someone to be in that gang. So if they're here illegally, it would be a good idea to deport them, and he was not for that. And then, of course, most recently with the shutdown that we're all suffering under, we need to get back to work. And Inslee, and Derek, I would say, is like a baby Inslee in terms of looking at this shutdown, capitalizing on the opportunity to use this as a means of giving our current economy an extreme makeover in the image of AOC and the Green New Deal. I've heard him say things like that. I've heard Governor Inslee say that as recently as 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was actually using the word celebrate with regard to the shutdown because, according to him, the birds were singing louder in the air because the cars are off the road and the planes are out of the air. And we don't want that. The best stimulus for our economy is getting people back to work. Anybody agree? So Kilmer is all in on keeping us shut as long as possible and capitalizing on this opportunity to transform America and transform our economy into some kind of a socialist scheme or dream, and we cannot stand for that. So I'm bringing a professional background to this, but I'm also bringing the heart of a mom, and there's a lot of I'll just give you a little bit of mom observations here. The impeachment effort, I would characterize that as a 3.5-year tantrum. Would you agree? Yes. The left has been, and the mainstream media has been on a tantrum, and now I would say with this economy and the shutdown slow to awaken role that Inslee and his compatriot Derek Kilmer are doing, I would call it, in mom parlance, dawdling. I'll give you an example. My son has a chore to do he takes out the garbage. He's 19 years old now. He's back home because he was in college. Now he's home because of COVID. But garbage day came. It's 6 in the morning. The trash is not out. So I go to his room, knock at the door, wake him up. It's like 6 in the morning. Teenagers don't like that. So he's like, sure, Mom, I'll do it. So I go away. Fine. 10 minutes later, I come back. I say something about it. He's like, oh, okay, I'll get right to it. So I go away. 10 minutes, I come back. He's still sleeping. Oh, yeah, okay. I come back a third time, I'm ready to pour cold water on his head, and they say, Brent, where are you? What's going on? He goes, what was the question again? That is Derek Kilmer, and that is Jay Inslee when it comes to the question of when are we going to reopen our economy and get our citizens back to work. They are dawdling. So I would say, let's get them to stop dawdling. Let's vote these people out. And with your help and support, I'd love to give Derek Kilmer a well-deserved, long, much-needed time out. So, thank you.